Hi there, the Magical Mr. C. I'm in New Jersey today, going to do a birthday party magic show at a firehouse. Hopefully it'll be a hot show. Tomorrow I'll be over in New York City to do a street fair, so hopefully that'll turn out all right. And I just got back from tour. It was exactly like I thought it would be. The last day of it was usually the most exhausting. But I was able to get in plenty of time to be able to rest up and get some sleep. The good news is that I'm training a new rabbit so that Gypsy, my rabbit, won't be so tired. I like to have more than one working rabbit if I can possibly get away with that, so that each rabbit isn't overly worked and they're happy. That's sort of how I roll. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the do's and don'ts of touring that I've learned over the years. I'm just going to kind of cover an overview of that. I might go into more detail with that book that I'm supposed to be working on but haven't had a chance to due to other mitigating circumstances. But that's another story altogether, people. So one of the things that I like to do is, first off, in touring, you have one of two sources of tours. One could be external through a producer or an agency that book you for a certain length of time doing certain gigs, certain locations. They cover your hotel costs, your travel costs, and sometimes even your food costs. I've had that happen. Sometimes it doesn't cover your food costs. You just have to be wise about that. Well, then the second type of touring is what I would call internal, in that you're just doing it independently. And in this case, there's a completely different calculus that goes into it. You can't just simply say, well, I like this town, it's 500 miles out, so I'll do a few shows there and see where we go. That isn't very constructive. What you need to do is the research about your demographics, about the economy of the town, the median age, the median income of the town, the safety of the town. Is it a rich town? Is it a poor town? Is it going to yield back for you potentially a good return on investment? And a good return on investment, I admit, is subjective. Some like to make certain round figures of money. Others play it differently. But sometimes that kind of planning takes a longer process, and the reason for this is because if you're looking for a really good payday, you're going to try and target some of the bigger businesses, not just daycares, preschools, or senior places. That will certainly be in the mix, but it's not going to be your entire pay. Otherwise, well, some tours are just like that. Other tours, you can really have a very nice, good paying gig, and then other smaller paying gigs to try to help compensate for all of the excessive overhead that's needed in these situations. So you have to plan ahead with regards to the demographics. You have to plan ahead in terms of what you're expecting a return on investment, and strategize how you're going to get that. So, for example, if you're not well enough known and trying to get yourself established, touring is a really good idea, but a lot of your shows are going to be what we call low-hanging fruit. You're going to be doing a lot of daycares, a lot of preschools, and a lot of senior places, because that's the easiest in what to get. Again, you can use that to your advantage by promoting yourself. That's the best way to do it, is by doing shows. Who cares if it's a senior place? Who cares if it's a daycare or preschool? I mean, Other colleague magicians aren't paying your way, you are. So who cares what they think? You need to think about what you think of what you're doing. So that's kind of a little rabbit trail I went on, but still important anyway, because work is work and you need to be working. One of the things I learned in terms of strategy is stick to the script. Once you've made a strategy, stick to the script. As tempting as it is to deviate from that and to explore other options, which you may think may save you money, may save you time, stick with your script. Trust me, that is the best policy. I'll give you an example of this. One of the most memorable tours I ever went was a California tour. I spent about 2 weeks out in the state of California, performed several really, really nice locations, really nice theaters, the Sierra Madre Playhouse, Amargosa Opera House, and of course the famous Hollywood Magic Castle. Along the way I performed at some farmers markets, I performed for some senior places, did a lot of really, really productive work. The only problem was that I didn't stick to the script in terms of the financial strategy. I was driving for many, many hours, and I saw in Bakersfield a hotel at a cut rate, and I thought, wow, I'm just a hop, skip, and a jump from LA. I might as well just stay right at this hotel for this cut rate, just drive into the city daily. Drive in, drive back. The only problem is that Bakersfield is over 100 miles. I think it's about maybe 150 miles, something like that, 130, 150 miles from Los Angeles. So I had to go over the Grapevine through Ventura and Encino and then right over to the city limits of LA, and then I had to navigate through the traffic and do all that kind of stuff. So I was doing all of that. Then I had, of course, when I'm performing at the Magic Castle, I had to go over the Grapevine, through the city, bypass the city limits and take the 405 to Hollywood. And so I was spending a lot more time on the road than I needed to, and consequently a lot more wear and tear on my vehicle. There was another thing that I messed up with, is that I also booked shows over in Santa Barbara. From Los Angeles, that's not a good idea, because Santa Barbara is about a little over 100 miles northwest of Los Angeles. And so I'm driving up there and then trying to perform there. I almost ran out of gas. I really misjudged my distance. I had to drive then, of course, from the Magic Castle, driving over to the Amargosa Opera House. I had to go through Death Valley. So I'm driving east through Palm Springs and into Death Valley and then to Death Valley Junction at the Amargosa Opera House. Not that that was not fun. It was fun. But it's taxing. It was really, really taxing. By the time I got done with everything, including the castle, when I got done, I was, for that 2 weeks, I had cleared $500 in that 2 weeks. I hadn't seen my family in 14 days. $500 I cleared. Ooh, but this prestige. Ooh. It really wasn't a good business call, but it was certainly a learning experience for me. Number one, I wasn't charging enough for some of my shows. Number two, I didn't strategize. Number three, I didn't stick to the script. Learned an awful lot. So as far as that tour was concerned, I consider that to be one of the greatest tours I ever had, simply because of the lessons learned alone. Don't do what I did in that California tour if you're going to be touring, okay? So that's just kind of an overview of some of what I learned. I'll touch more on that at another video soon. So keep a weather eye. Those of you that like this channel, please hit that like. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. and tell your friends. I really appreciate it. Again, my name is the Magical Mr. C. I'll talk to you later. Bye.